Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
Today we are looking at another preparation, what the Lord wants us to take note of, what the Lord wants to deal with. You remember that the Lord told us that this year, His plan for us is to give us acceleration, which is speed. And when you are talking about speed and acceleration, you must of course also be dealing with delays, because that's the opposite of speed, delays. And where delay has been operating, just ordinary delay, a delay has been entrenched, and you are talking about speed and acceleration, you cannot ignore that delay. You must deal with that delay first before you begin to talk about speed. Today, we are dealing with what I call overcoming chronic delays by royal decrees. There are different kinds of delays. There are just some minor setbacks, some minor delays and so on, but there is some delays that are chronic. There are some delays that are entrenched. There are some delays that are not ordinary, that are demonic, that are satanic in nature, that there are terrible powers behind them. If you are dealing with such delay, brethren, sometimes your might might not be able to do it. You might need a superior power, like a royal power, to begin to speak for you, to help you to dismantle that delay. I'm going to show you from the scriptures. Why do we need a royal decree? Because of the scriptures in Ecclesiastes chapter 8. Ecclesiastes chapter 8. If you must know, the whole essence of the covenant of acceleration, brethren, is to destroy delay. That's the whole essence of the covenant, to destroy delay. Now look at Ecclesiastes chapter 18 verse 4. It says, where the word of a king is, there is what? There is power. And that power is a power that is not everybody has that level of power. Only available to kings. Where the word of a king is, there is power. And look at what he said for that. And who may say unto him, what doest thou? That is, you can't challenge the king. You can't question the king. You can't ask the king, what are you doing? So when the king decrees a thing, there is power behind it, and it stands. So where there is a delay operating, and the king comes and says, delay, go. That delay cannot say why. Delay must obey immediately and depart. And that's what we want to pray here today. That's what we want to cry for here today. That our God, who is the God of gods, who is the King of kings, that He will issue a decree here today for us and rebuke delays, and rebuke all the powers behind the delays. Look at Ezra chapter 6. Ezra chapter 6 in verse 1. Are you following me? The king made what? A decree. Where the word of a king is, there is power. So when a king makes a decree, that is the end. That is the end. Nobody can alter it. So Darius made a decree, and what decree? He said they should search, and was made in the house of the rolls, where they store like archives. Said they should search the archives, where the treasures were laid up in Babylon, and they were found at Mecca, in the palace that is in the province of the Medes, a roll, and therein was a record thus written, they were able to find the record they were looking for. Verse 3. In the first year of Cyrus, the king of the same Cyrus, the king made a decree concerning the house of God in Jerusalem. Cyrus. Brethren, do you remember Cyrus? Remember that Isaiah prophesied about him in Isaiah 45. That Cyrus was created and sent from heaven for a specific assignment to help Israel, Judah, to return back home, to help to rebuild Judah, to help to rebuild Jerusalem and rebuild the king's palace and rebuild the temple. And special wealth was given to him for that project. Do you know that Cyrus came and Cyrus didn't do what he was, maybe he did, but delay appeared. And delay frustrated that project until Cyrus died. Now another person, Darius, now this is about how many kings? About fourth king now. Is the one Darius here. Now look at what he said. They now found that record in the archives, and they saw that the decree that Cyrus made before concerning the house of God of Jerusalem be builded, the offer sacrifice, strongly, the 3 score cubic and the bread thereof 3 score cubic. Verse 4. With 3 rows also let the golden and silver vessels of the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar took forth out of the temple which is at Jerusalem and brought unto Babylon, be restored, and brought again unto the temple which is at Jerusalem, every one to his place, and place them in the house of God. Now therefore, Tatnai, governor beyond the river, Shethar, Boznai, and your companions. This is Darius now, issuing decree. He's writing to those people who are disturbing the work. Because Cyrus came, commissioned the work, they started the work, they blocked it. Another king came, started the work, they blocked it. Another king, this is the 4th king or so now. So he's now writing letter to those people, governors. He said, to Tatnai, governor beyond the river, Boznai and your companions. You remember the companions, Sanballat and Tobiah and all of them. He said, as such as which are beyond the river, be ye what? He said, get out of that project. Remove yourself far away from that work. Do you see how the decree works? It's a royal decree. It's the decree of the king. He said, I say, remove ye far from thence. Verse 7. And what happened? And let the work of this house of God. That's all we are looking for, brethren. We are all, like me personally, I know of myself. I am the work of God. I'm a project in the hand of the Almighty. All I need today is the voice of the King of Kings to come down from heaven and say, be you remove you far away from him. Let this work alone. You see how the kings of decree operate. He said, let the governors of the Jews and the elders of Jews, let them build this house of the God in his place. Verse 8, moreover, I make a decree. Do you see how the kings talk? He's not saying, I'm suggesting, or I am begging you, I'm pleading, I'm asking your opinion. No, he said, I do what? I make a decree. What ye shall do to the elders of these Jews for the building of this house of God, that of the king's good, even of the tribe beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they be not. He said, remove yourself out of that decrees operate. Verse 9. And that which they have offering or anything, salt, wine, oil, according to the appointment of the priest, which had let it be given to them day by day without fail. That's how decrees work. Verse 10. That they may offer sacrifice of sweet savours unto the God of heaven, and pray for the life of the king and of his sons. Also, I have made I want you to get the pattern in which we are going to pray this prayer. Because we might not be able to cover everything concerning you today in prayer because of the time. But this week, there's something I want you to do particularly this week. Use these languages you are seeing here in the Bible. Use the same language in your prayer. Whether you are driving or whether you are at home or whether you are at work or on your own, inside your heart, be speaking the word. That the voice of the King of Kings. Do you see how the language is there? It says in verse 11, also I made a decree that whosoever shall utter this word In case they want to show stubbornness, because that's what they do. Stubbornness. He said, in case anybody try to show stubbornness against this decree, what should happen? He said, let him have been pulled down from his house and being set up. He said, let him be hanged thereon, and let his house be made a dunghill for this. Say, any person that try to challenge this, say, destroy his house and hang him. Verse 12. And the God that has caused his name to dwell there, destroy all kings and people. And you see, this is a Gentile, though, not even a Jew. This is somebody from Persia that is praying this kind of prayer. Let God of Israel, that the person is a good person that want to can't be talking about acceleration without dealing with delay. You must dismantle the delay out of his position. He said, let him be done with speed. Verse 13. Then look at the people causing the delay since. Then that night, governor on this side of the river said, what did they do? They did it. Did you say the power of acceleration? Did you say the power of the decree of the king? These were the people that have delayed the work. Do you know for how long? 46 years. The project Solomon built it in 7 years. He built the temple 7 years. They were on this project 46 years because of these people. They got their name here. And how did that delay come to an end? Decree, royal decree. Royal decree. And that's all we want to cry today. That the King of Kings will speak for us. The powers and the human beings behind the delay, and command them to depart so that we can complete the projects of our lives. Because delay will frustrate everything someone is doing. Delay will not allow the person to put hand on touch anything and prosper in it. Immediately that delay was removed, they started to build and prosper. Through what? The prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah see their work. Dealing with delays, especially chronic delays. The place of prophecy must be set aside because prophecy has a role to play. And prophecy is the prayers we are going to pray here today. Mention their names. They say these two prophets, they are the brain that dismantled delays out of Judah. There were two of them. They were the ones that killed delay that made that project to succeed. And they built it and finished it according to the commandment of the God of Israel and according to the commandment of Cyrus. Take note of the people that have worked on this project. Cyrus, Darius, Artaxerxes, king of Persia. This is a thing that's only Cyrus supposed to finish. Lingered for so long. Verse 15. And this house was finished on the 3rd day of the month Adar, which was in the 6th year of reign of Darius the king. And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites and the rest of the children of the captivity, they kept the dedication of the house with joy, and offered at the dedication of this house of God and 100 bulls too, so they sacrificed lavishly. And then they set the priests and their place, everybody started to minister there. And then the priests have crucified themselves, and the children of Israel, which were come out of captivity. Do you see that, brethren? Do you know why Satan was blocking it? Do you know why the enemy did not want them to complete the project? Because they needed to rebuild the temple. They needed to rebuild Jerusalem for Judah to return back from captivity before they can come back to their country. So now that the project was completed, they now came back. They returned back. And as such as separated themselves unto from the filthiness of the eating of the land, to seek the Lord God of Israel, they ate and so on, and they kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days, and there was joy and so on. Now, if you look at what happened here, you might not, from this scripture, this was just a project, you might not see exactly who is behind this delay. How did this delay come about? Because Cyrus was a king, and Cyrus gave them the money and everything they needed to rebuild the whole place. What stopped it? Who blocked it? Who delayed it? You must go back and discover how this all happened. Because if Darius could make such a decree and it came to pass and nullified all the whole delays of over 40 years, then our God can do more. Look at Haggai chapter 2. Because they mentioned prophet Haggai and they mentioned prophet Zechariah. They say these two prophets, through their prophesying, were the ones that made the project to complete. They were the ones that killed the delay. Haggai chapter 2, look at verse 1. In the 7th month, in the 120 days of the month, came the word of the Lord by the prophet Haggai, saying, Speak now to Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, and to the residue of the people, saying, verse 4, yet now be strong, O Zerubbabel, said the Lord, and be strong, O Joshua, son of Josedek, the high priest, and be strong, all you people of the land, said the Lord, and walk, for I am with you, said the Lord of hosts. Why was God sending them this kind of message? Because they were frustrated already. They started this project for over 40 years. They couldn't go anywhere with it. They were frustrated. So you can see the message of God is saying, be strong, be strong. Because of what? The frustration has taken root already. Verse 5. According to the word that I covenanted, there was a covenant. Covenant. Do you see the power of covenant? Do you see the power of covenant? God was able to intervene because of covenant. Listen carefully to me, brother. There are some things, your power, no matter who you are, your power cannot dismantle it. There are some things your prayers cannot dismantle it. You can see it's only covenant. So he said, as I covenanted with you when you came out of Egypt, so my spirit remained among you. Fear ye not. Verse 6. For thus said the Lord of hosts, yet once, it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens. Do you see the difference now? We don't have such power. Shake the heavens and shake the earth. Why? Because it's not ordinary delay. It's not ordinary delay. And we fill this house with glory, said the Lord of hosts. Verse 8. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, said the Lord of hosts. So if the project requires money, you see that we have to depend on God. Verse 20. And again, the word of the Lord came to Haggai in the 24th day of the month. This whole thing did not happen in one day. Sometimes one message will come. It will take years for another message to come. And they will be stranded waiting for another message to come. They will cry and fast and pray and pray and pray. Then after so many years, maybe 4, 5, 6 years, another message will come again. They will act based on the knowledge they receive and wait again for how many years. Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will overthrow the thrones of the kingdom. Do you see now? Zerubbabel cannot do this by himself. And I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them, and the horses and their riders shall come down, everyone by the sword of his brother. So we now see that this delay has something beyond human understanding behind it. The delay has kingdoms, has nations, has a lot of things. So in the physical, you begin to think, why is this project not moving forward? Who is the project manager here? This one is beyond project manager. Project manager, what is the problem? Is it money? No, we have money. Is it materials? We have materials. Is it workers? We have work. What then is the problem? I can't understand. Are you following me now? Now, this was the prophecy of Haggai. Maybe they will get this message, they will pray based on that knowledge. Then Zerubbabel also will be encouraged. Zechariah chapter 4. Because the Bible, the place we read, in the angel that talked with me, angel of God had to step in now. Angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, knowest thou not what this be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might, not by power. Maybe Zerubbabel has now decided that we will use by force. We will fight it out. So the message now came and said, if you use power or might, you will be wasting your energy. You will be fighting against the wrong thing. Now look at what the Spirit of God started to do. Verse 7. Who art thou, O great? The Zerubbabel is going to fight against mountain. How is he going to do it? Do you see the kind of delays, brethren? There are some delays that are above us. He said, who art thou, O great man, before Zerubbabel? That foundation of this house, his son also shall finish it. Why? Zerubbabel was the one that started the foundation. Zerubbabel was getting old. 40-something years was upon his life since he laid the foundation. He has concluded he was not going to see the end of the building. So this message came and said, your hand laid the foundation, your hand will finish it. Because he has been frustrated to the last point. That's what delay does. It frustrates. But the question is, who exactly is behind? Because you know the message of God comes in parables. Till now, the Lord has not mentioned it. He said mountain. Who is the mountain? He says kingdoms, thrones, nations, without pointing specifically to one, so that you even know what you are fighting. Is that not the same way the Lord is dealing with us today? Yes, you dream some dreams, the more confusion self more than the dream. You don't know where to start with. And the dream is not giving you any clue for you to know what you are fighting against. Now look at what follow. And it will take another for how many years before another dream will come, another message will come, another prophecy will come. Zechariah chapter 3. He got to send that message to Zerubbabel. You remember they are always to Zerubbabel and Joshua the son of Joseph, the two of them, the high priest. And he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist it. Aha! It becomes clear that a bit now. Becomes clear that that's the power, that's the man behind the delay. That's the man behind the delay. That's the supervisor of the delay. He's the one that raised up all those nations and thrones and kingdoms and all of them. This is the person behind it. And do you see what he's doing? He picked the spiritual head, the high priest. He picked the pastor. He picked the national spiritual leader and was following that one up and down. Because he knew very well, if anything is going to change, it has to start from the spiritual. To start from the priest. So he was following the high priest everywhere. To do what? To resist him, to delay him, to block him. And the moment the spiritual is blocked, no project will happen in the physical. No project. Everything is delayed. Verse 2. Look at what we are looking for. The decree of the king. The Lord said unto Satan, the Lord rebuke thee, O Satan. Close your eyes. And say, my God and my Father, I cry out unto you now. This same words, this same language that you use here, arise now and rebuke Satan for me. Yes, Lord. Rebuke Satan for me now. Jesus. Then it says, even the Lord that has changed not this a brand plucked out of the fire. Verse 3. Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments. Sin, sin, sin. And that now gave Satan legal ground to stand upon. Gave Satan power to block him. And do you see how long it took? 46 years. 46 years. No wonder. The angel was telling Zerubbabel, say, not by power, not by might. Say, don't waste your energy. Don't waste your energy. There are too many things behind this that you don't understand. Too many things. That same voice will speak for us, and Satan will depart from us. Amen. And the moment Satan departs, he will depart with the blockage and the delay. Amen. You remember what happened to Judah? They built and they prospered. And they completed the project. You will be surprised the speed with which we are going to complete projects in our lives. That is the divine acceleration. Now look at what the Lord did. Verse 10. Now Joshua was remove the filthy garment from him, remove the sin from him, so that Satan will not be able to return. And unto him said, behold, I have caused the iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with change of raiment. And I said, let them set a firmament upon his head. So they set a firmament upon his head and clothed him with garment, and the angel of the Lord stood by. And brethren, this was when the yoke was broken. This was when the project was able to move forward. And they completed the building of the temple, the king's palace, repaired Jerusalem and everything. Because they dealt with the spiritual. They dealt with the delay itself. But you can see the volume of damage that Satan has caused them. Do you know the damage? Do you know that Daniel was there, according to the prophecy of Jeremiah, they were supposed to spend 70 years in Babylon and come back home. That's their punishment. Daniel, immediately they completed 70 years. Daniel said, we should be back home now. Why are we still here? He started to pray and cry. What did the powers do again? They blocked the angel coming for 21 days. Delays. And Daniel lived and died in that exile. He didn't come back. Ezekiel, they all hoped they could come back. They all desired to come back. That's what delay does. The time Daniel was crying for that prayer, they were already heading to 80 years already in exile instead of 70 years. And he lived and died and all those things. These were children that were born, most of them were born in exile. This is Zerubbabel and all of them. They were all born in exile. And they are also growing old. Zerubbabel was already frustrated because he was getting old. That's why he said, your hand laid the foundation, don't worry, you will not die, you will finish it. They were growing old. And you can see the impact of delay. There's nothing the strongest weapon of Satan against human being is delay. Delay. Because he knows that delay frustrates human being terribly. Delay frustrates man. Especially delays that you have, there's nothing you can do. There are some situations, there's nothing you can do. That's why he said, not by power, not by might, there's nothing you can do. Except the voice of the king comes out. And that's what we're going to scream here today. That same voice. The voice of the king will speak for us here today. Amen. And terminate every form of delay. Amen. And introduce acceleration and speed into every area of our lives. Let's close our eyes. My God and my Father, I confess all my sins. I acknowledge all my sins, the sins of the flesh.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.